Hey guys, how's it going? Culprit here, and I wanted to move on from the negativity and the ranting and raving like a lunatic, and with my very next video, just get right into the nuts and bolts and the tactics and strategy and the stuff I want to talk about with this game. I too often get distracted by all the emotions and the good and the bad and the ranting and raving. So I'm gonna do a little rant video, leave it at that, get it all out, vent, and then I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna just talk about the good parts of this game, the strategy, the tactics, things like that. So with this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the patch notes that were released. I'm not going to talk about the specific guns. I'm not going to talk about the specific attachments because that is a lot of information. I'll cover that in another video. Right here, I'm just going to talk about the general gameplay, things like that, like game modes and just bug fixes, things like that. And we'll talk about that on this video. Look for another video to follow immediately after this one, hopefully maybe Monday-ish, where I will discuss. I'm not going to go weapon by weapon or attachment by attachment. It's just too much to cover. What I will do is I'll probably recommend some guns that you should try out. I'm going to recommend some guns probably that you should just hang up on the wall. There's probably a couple guns that you're probably not really thinking of that through the patch notes look like you're going to get some pretty good buffs, and you definitely don't want to check them out. There's other guns that are extremely popular right now that I believe are just going to be, you just got to put them away. It's really hard on paper to analyze before you really get to play and see how the things feel. So these are just going to be, guesses basically based on stats and my gut feeling and hunch. That's all. Look for that to follow immediately after this one. So let's get right into it. The patch notes were released. I will put a link in the description for you to look at it yourself. It's huge. There's not really a lot of surprises. It's pretty much of it is what we've seen before, and I previously did a video on it. They added a couple things. I'll talk about that here. So first thing is lessen fall damage, and it hopefully will be more predictable. We all know when you jump over things, sometimes you take a lot of damage, sometimes you don't. You just have no way of knowing before you take that leap, and it does affect the gameplay. You'll be able to get up from prone faster. They say that this will enable you to get away from grenades easier and stuff like that. That's pretty good because it can be pretty frustrating. You're basically you're screwed if they throw a grenade on top of you. They fix situations where players are unrevivable. I'm hoping this means like if you throw a med pack on top of some guy, he's laying right at your feet, and you throw a med pack on him, now suddenly he's not revivable. Or if say some rubble fell on him or whatnot. They've reduced their fade in on respawn, and with that they have increased the spawn protection by 2 seconds. I commented on my previous video that I was a little concerned about this. I was concerned about the invincibility. I'd like some more clarification on this. I hope that the spawn protection does not include when you spawn on a teammate or when you are revived. That would make a lot of sense to me, but they have not said. It should only be when you spawn randomly, say in TDM, or spawn on a captured flag point in Conquest, that kind of thing. If you spawn on a teammate, that's a risk you take. You should not get any protection. And if you are revived, you should not have any protection from that. It's usually heat of battle type thing. They have nerfed the USAS itself by increasing the recoil, lessening pellets. And frag rounds in general have been nerfed in various ways depending on the weapons. In general, I just hope this means frag rounds are going to go away. It remains to be seen if it's enough of a nerf, not enough, who knows. There's always going to be some douchebag that's going to use frag rounds because, frankly, you don't have to aim at people with frag rounds. You just got to get it close. It's pretty retarded. It's like playing darts with hand grenades, They're lessening splash damage, which should help, though. The MAV will now be destroyed. The MAV will now be destroyed upon roadkills. So basically, what this means, you're gonna get one kill, and then it dies. If you hit anything, basically, it's gonna explode. They say you can make strategic roadkills now. The MAV, it's ridiculous. Nobody's ever made a strategic roadkill, but it is there. If you can use it, it should be much less of a nuisance. So let's hope we stop having the gnats flying around our head so often. And the MAV can no longer be used as an elevator. Thank you, Lord. All right, no more guys getting on roofs where me as an assault or a support can't get at him. That's my biggest gripe. I don't mind snipers on roofs as long as I have a staircase, or preferably a staircase. I hate ladders, but some way to get up and get them. Because we know on some maps they never intended for people to be up on there, and so the sight lines are really prohibitive to you getting up and actually being able to shoot the guy. There's just not enough room on the map to get the proper angle to shoot the guy. And snipers are smart. They realize this, so that's why they go on those roofs. C4 will no longer be detonatable after respawn. So basically there's no more of that Rambo C4 where you run up to a tank, you load it up with C4, you don't really care if you die, you respawn, you pull out your detonator, you click it, tank's gone. That shouldn't be that way anyway, so that's a good fix. Claymores will now only last 5 seconds after player's death. This is good. I understand letting it stay a little bit Someone's rushing your position, basically. I mean, it should basically just last until you spawn, until you respawn, okay? So if you immediately respawn, the claymore goes away, but if you want to be a little smart about it and you see guys rushing maybe up that stairwell, you hold your respawn. I don't know. It's just a way to add a little strategy to it, but I don't have a problem with it. 5 seconds fine. They have slightly reduced the blast radius of the RPG, the small, the 40mm grenade, you know, all those kind of things against infantry. Mortar can no longer be deployed in protected areas. This should have been from day one. I'd like to see more mortar nerfs, like I've said. Get rid of the unlimited ammo type thing, whatever, but let's see how this goes. Now, mines, claymores, C4, those type of things will now only appear when spotted by teammates. So you have to actively spot them now. We've known that this, you know, the stuff just always showing up on the map was a bug, so we knew that would be fixed eventually. So let's hope this actually works out. One little one that I didn't notice before, but that I did notice reading it this time, the medic crate, the medic crate heal rate has been increased. I didn't really see a need for this, but that's just something I wanted to put out there. I don't really know how I feel about this. I mean, I think it's already difficult enough to kill guys kind of at range that are hunkered in with a regular medic rate, so now it's going to be even harder. I don't know. I don't have a huge issue with it, but I just didn't really see a need for it, like I said. Team Deathmatch, they have fixed the initial spawn bug, where you spawn, basically, you're both aiming at each other, where you spawn right down somebody's sights, or, you know, bump into each other. Terran Highway, the playable area has been doubled. Karg Island has a bigger playable area with new cover objects. A couple of the maps have actually been changed, and a lot of them had their spawn points tweaked, so it's going to take some play to figure out how that goes. Like I said, you know, spawn points have been improved, and they've added spawn zones to many maps. I believe, was it Squad Deathmatch? They said Domovan Peak has been shifted, the play area, and reduced. Because if you play Squad Deathmatch at all, that map is really big for Squad Deathmatch. So if you're not fighting in that building, which some matches do and some matches aren't, it's just pretty random. But if you get out of that building, it can be really barren, and it can be really hard to find people. And then all you're doing is getting mowed down by the tank, more or less. Input lag. PlayStation 3 players may now turn off anti-alias in the options menu to reduce the input lag. Basically what they're doing is they're adding you a checkbox. We have this on PC, so now you're just going to get the option to turn it off, which is fine. I have it off on my my PC. Anti-alias is a huge resource hog for not very much reward. I have it off. I have post anti-alias. It's if you're interested, read up on it. I mean, you're not gonna really have the option, so there's no point. But when you get a PC, you might want to read up on it. So you in theory will see a drop in graphics. You might see a little more like, you know, screen tearing, that type of thing. From what I'm told and read, I don't believe Xbox has any AA anyway, and it looks just about the same as PS3. So I don't think you're not going to take a big hit here, and you're going to, frankly, be able to play the game. I'm happy about this. My PS3 is unplayable. It's just so laggy. I feel like I'm like aiming my gun underwater. You know, it's so laggy. So if they fix this, I'll be playing on more on the PS3. So hopefully I can hook up with some of you guys. I've got a lot of leveling to do over there. I've only played a couple hours on PS3, and the only reason I got it for PS3 was when Karkan got released, and it was a week early. I'm a junkie. I couldn't wait, so I went and bought it for PS3 too. So now for PC only, there's a couple features. The Camaros, I don't know if you guys are familiar, if you're only console people, if you didn't play Battlefield 2 or whatnot. Camaros is when you spot on a guy. You'll see it occasionally in my videos pop up. If you spot a guy a certain way, a menu pops up, and you're able to basically say a couple of quick commands to somebody, like, I need ammo, give me a medic pack, sorry, out of my way, just random things that are somewhat useful. You know, you can spot a chopper, and it'll say I need to pick up. It gives you a little more customization on what you say, since there's no voice ops in game for the PC. So in other words, if I just join a random squad, unless I get in there, type in, ask them to become friends with me, and we set something up outside of the game, we can't talk to each other. So the PC kind of needed this, because this will give us the ability to actually just talk quickly amongst each other in game. These options, you know, these menu options change depending on your situation. Are you in a vehicle? Are you on foot? Are you hurt? Are you low on ammo? You know, you get different options based on that. Each of these options then should trigger correct voice messages, so your guy will now say, hey, I need some ammo, you know, because right now it's kind of bugged. It doesn't always, it'll say it on your screen, you know, you go and you spot on that support guy. It'll say, hey, how about some ammo over here, dumbass, or whatever it might be. But when in fact, that support guy doesn't hear any audio cue. It's a bug. It just doesn't work. And that's why a lot of times you get super frustrated. You start shooting a guy in the head. Look at this dumbass. You won't, you know, why are you playing support? You won't drop ammo. You know, we all do it. So that should be fixed. So hopefully that will encourage team play. I'm very hopeful about this, but I don't know how much of an effect it can have. Also for PC, there's new improvements to the minimap. This is something everybody's been calling for a lot. This, you know, Art Deco user interface style is just, it drives me nuts. I don't know what their fascination is with the blue hue on everything, the blues and grays. It wasn't like that in the alpha, and suddenly in the beta, everything's blue. It's annoying. It just doesn't fit. It's like them just trying to overthink it, frankly. Now they're going to get, it's going to stay blue, of course. Why wouldn't they? It's basically their trademark now. There's going to be 3 options for the minimap: satellite, hybrid, and detailed. As far as I can tell, they only gave us like 3 screenshots. It doesn't tell you too much. Of course, there's no details. Satellite looks like it's just basically going to be like an overhead view of the map. Blue, of course, but you know, you're not going to get this weird white blobs on there and whatnot. It's just going to literally be the terrain features as you would normally see it. Nothing's enhanced at all or anything. We know detailed view is basically what we have now, with those, you know, buildings are kind of these white shapes, and roads are a little less white. It's blue and white. It's annoying. It's just not very good. I don't know. I think they rushed this out to get the game out. They just threw something together, frankly, because otherwise I don't understand it. And hybrid obviously is going to be something in between. I looked at the screenshots. I can't tell you what the difference is between hybrid and detailed from that screenshot. It looks exactly the same to me. Let me know if I'm missing something. So I might think myself, I'm going to throw in satellite and check that out. You know, the UI, the minimap has been something that's kind of been annoying to me since day one. I felt like a game of this level, of this graphical level, I mean, you could have done so many things with this minimap and just made it awesome. I mean, I understand you don't want it to be too great because you don't want people to see everything, but I mean, the detail level on the minimap could have been more. I mean, this is just crazy. I think the user interface in the entire game needs a whole facelift. It feels very rushed. It feels very thrown together, and I think that's what happened at the end of their development cycle. They wanted to push the game up to get it out before COD, so they had to cut corners on things. Okay, and I was hoping with this patch we'd see more fixes towards that end. We're not, unfortunately. Like I said, much of what we're getting is what we already knew about a month or so ago, and you know, apparently now they're still not done with it. So that's the general run through of the patch list. A lot of good stuff in here. Hopefully it's going to help the game. A bunch of important things, a bunch of annoying things fixed. So we got some hopes on this. So let's see. There's supposedly hope that the PC and Xbox will be fixed possibly at the same time the PlayStation 3 is released. They will not be holding back either. When they are ready, they will be released. That is confirmed through DICE themselves. But you know, we cannot always believe what they say. So take it with a grain of salt. But there is actual hope that this patches for all the platforms will be out this week. Let's hope so. I don't know how that's possible with Xbox. If it's been certified, and I don't know how that works. I'm really just talking about PC. So let's hope this week we'll get the patch. Okay, guys? Look for my next video. It's going to go into the gun side of things, the attachment side of things. Recommend some guns. Tell you to put some guns away. Talk about maybe some of the attachments, what we want to use, what we don't want to use, what situations. I'm going to start doing research for that now, and look for that coming up. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening, watching with me. A little gameplay in the background. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Really helps me out. Remember to join Twitter and Facebook, and I will talk to you soon, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Hope you're having a good weekend.